Alright, what's happening YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to go over what I wore last week, my weekly fragrance rotation. So, let's not waste too much time. Let's get into the list, but before we do, as always guys, you know the drill. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to at least consider subscribing and ringing the bell and go. So, starting off with last Saturday, I ended up going with Ralph's Club by Ralph Lauren. I kind of, I've always liked this fragrance, but this last time I wore it, it was almost a little bit clawing. It's pleasant, very nice, deep, rich, dark blue shower gel fragrance to simplify it. I feel like it's macerated quite a bit and I wouldn't say changed as it sat on my shelves, but it's gotten a little more powerful. I feel like the lavender in this was really loud. Again, not a bad thing, but it did kind of throw me for a loop. It was much louder than I remember it being, and maybe it's always been loud. It's just that I haven't worn it in so long I kind of forgot, but so pleasant. I've had a few people, excuse my computer, I've had a few people that I've talked to in the last 6 months or so really harp about how generic they think this smells. Yeah, it's a generic's kind of a mean word, but I guess you could say generic, but I think it's nice. It's such a crowd pleaser. This is one of those fragrances that, again, I don't wear too often. I'm never really massively compelled to reach for this. But it's one of those fragrances that when you do wear it, you're just like, nah, that was a good choice. It's always safe. It smells good. Anybody you get around is going to think you smell nice. I think it's a good choice always. Again, not the most unique, mind-blowing fragrance, but it's a good, safe one. Ralph's Club. All right, moving into Sunday, I went with Bond Number 9's .com or bondnumber9.com. I'm not even going to spray this one because it's so powerful. I was just really craving this juicy, mouth-watering pineapple. I love this fragrance. I paid somewhere in the mid $100 for this, $100 and some dollars when I got it a bazillion years ago. I think the last time I checked this stuff, I believe is discontinued, and I've seen bottles on eBay for $350, $450. Do not buy that. Don't. I just think this one's going to be one that you're going to have to go without, because unless you can comment down below, let me know a relatively down-to-earth place to find this for price-wise. I can't. I think this stuff's just almost impossible to find now, and if you do find it, you're going to pay a lot of money. But it is a fantastic pineapple, very mouth-watering, juicy, Aventus-y fragrance. I would say on my skin, it's Aventus. Well, no, it's just kind of like the pineapple element of Aventus. I would say take the woodiness and stuff out. And I don't think it's fully out, but on my skin anyways, you don't get much of that. You just get juicy, mouth-watering pineapple. It's very, very pleasant. Beautiful fragrance. It performs very well on my skin. But again, the price is just out of this world at this point. Anywhere I see this for sale, it's just so much that I almost laugh. But it's lovely. I'm glad I have it. But at this point, I do not see myself ever getting another bottle. All right, moving into Monday, I reached for our Moth's Radical Brown. Another fragrance that, when I originally got this, I enjoyed it, but I had a horrible scent memory tied to this, so I kind of didn't want to wear it for a while. But, God, it's nice. Now, I was corrected. When I reviewed this, I said it reminded me a lot of Guerlain L'Homme EDP, and it still does. But I was corrected by a few of you guys in the comments section said, hey, that this is actually a clone of Parfum de Marly's Herod. I don't own Herod, but I did have a decant that I ran out of. And after someone told me that I smelled it, I said, oh yeah, I totally get that. But I do think it smells like a mixture of that and Guerlain L'Homme EDP still. I still get some of the Guerlain in there. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my nose. Very nice stuff, though. Very, very pleasant fragrance. I think this still goes for like $40 on Amazon. That's probably the best price I can find. I haven't checked FragranceNet and stuff in a while. Maybe I should have done that before the video. But nonetheless, this stuff smells very nice. It performs very well on my skin. It is a very sexy, seductive, in my opinion, evening, date night fragrance. Preferably cooler weather. But I think the spring days or even a summer day that's not super hot, in the evening and nighttime, this would do just fine. Very good stuff. I recommend checking this one out. Not everybody likes blind buying, but for $40, I think this is a damn good steal. Moving into Tuesday, I went with the old Penguin Denim that I talked about recently. I really like this stuff. Kind of boring, but it's really nice. Good atomizer, too, for the price. I think I paid, looking back, I think when I reviewed this, I paid $20 for this. I think I paid like $10 or $12 for this, actually. I think I paid less than that. It wasn't 20. I think it was like either $9.99 or $11.99 or something like that. Damn good for the price. Like I said in my original review, just kind of a generic blue shower gel fragrance, but it's got a nice, kind of like a smooth and creamy, like a creamy suede type of a foundation. Really light and airy. Very nice blue fragrance. Again, generic and boring to a lot of people, but when you don't know what to reach for, it's just kind of like Ralph's Club. If you can't think of what to reach for, these blue kind of generic shower gel fragrances are just always a safe bet. And this one is much easier to wear than like Ralph's Club, in my opinion. That's much deeper and richer and darker. This is more light and airy. It'll still grab your nose with those deep and rich blue notes, but it's kind of delivered on that creamy suede foundation, so it's a little more light and airy, and like I said, easier on the nose. Good stuff. I really recommend it. Check this out, especially if you can get it at the rack store for like I said, 20 bucks or less, and I think it was $9.99, not $19.99. Good value. All right, moving into Wednesday, I went with Moth's Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. I'm not going to spray this stuff because it's still exploding off the atomizer. I really like this. I still think this is, arguably the best pound for pound way to get your hands on Creed Aventus DNA. I don't know if I want to say the best version of the Creed Aventus DNA, the best clone of it, but I really think when I bought this, it was kind of a no-brainer because I think I paid around 50 bucks. I want to say a bottle of this now is around 70 bucks, which I don't like. Again, comment down below if you can verify that I'm wrong. I haven't checked every website, but I know on like Amazon and stuff where a lot of Moth sells, this is like 70 bucks. Yeah, a little more than I think it should be. I would like to see this around 50 bucks again, but it's not the end of the world if you pay that much for this. I think this is worth that. This performs monstrously off of my skin. The opening on my skin is a little bit weird smelling, kind of synthetic and chemical smelling in true Moth fashion for me. But as it dries down, it becomes gorgeous and it performs very well, and it holds itself together very well as it dries down. It doesn't fall apart on my skin. It's a very good fragrance. Moth did a fantastic job, and personally, this is my favorite flanker, if you will, in all the Club de Nuit Intense Man renditions of the Creed Aventus DNA. This is a good one. All right, moving into Thursday, I went with another cheapie, Cremo Sandalwood in Suede. I got this. I just blind bought this. It's actually exploding off my atomizer again. I'm not going to spray it either. I got this at Burlington a while back. It was like 10 bucks, $9.99. I just grabbed the box and blind bought it. Just like the other Cremo fragrance that I talked about recently, when I originally sprayed this on, it was really clawing and synthetic and, what's another good word? Kind of intrusive and annoying to my nose. But as it dried down, became very pleasant. Generic, sorta, but not bad at all, especially for like 10 bucks. Now, I don't know what the notes are. I couldn't really find them online, but I had somebody tell me that this had fig leaf in it. So it's kind of like literally a sandalwood and suede smelling fragrance. That's an easy depiction, and that's how it smells. But I do get a touch of something that I think is fig leaf. Someone told me that fig leaf or fig is in this. I think that's accurate. I can smell that. Maybe it's just a mental thing as I think about it and dig with my nose and look for it. But it's a very good fragrance. Relatively pleasant, again, especially as it dries down. The opening is cheap, but the dry down is really good. Performed I think I got 5 hours out of this, which is not bad for 10 bucks. Come on, man, that's pretty good. So, generic, boring, cheap smelling, but for 10 bucks, what do you want? Not bad. And Friday, I went with the classic Tommy for men. I got this small little bottle here. I think this was released in mid-90s, 95, 96. This stuff is awesome. And like I talked about a long time ago when I was speaking of this a while back, one of the things I love so much about these older classic fragrances, especially the ones that don't smell dated, that just kind of have a DNA that's just lovable forever and is just timeless. This has been around for so long that it's fallen out of favorite for most people. So when you wear this, you might just smell brand new, because this is nothing like what everyone else is selling right now and preaching about and promoting right now. So that's the cool thing about these old school fragrances. Like I said, especially the ones that have a timeless style and a timeless DNA to them. It's just after a while, man, you just let them get quiet for a while, bring them back, and people are going to smell you and say, man, that guy smells really nice. That's different. Really green, kind of a sporty smell. I really, really love this stuff. It's got that interesting cactus note. This reminds me of the 90s. If I could summarize the 90s in a smell, it's probably going to be something like this, or that original Hugo Boss fragrance that reminds me of the 90s as well. I was born in 86, so the 90s were my childhood. It was a fun time for me, a much simpler time. We always look back with rose-colored glasses, of course, but when I think of the 90s, I just think of like the old school Nickelodeon, like what, All Real Monsters. What a fitting shirt for the conversation. All the old school Nickelodeon shows and cartoons and stuff. And yeah, what a good time. Makes me want to cry. But I love this fragrance. It always will hold a massive place in my heart, just like that Hugo Boss fragrance. I remember my older brother used to wear that to school when I was a teenager. So yeah, lots of good memories. I will never be without this one. I just passed up a big bottle recently at Marshall's, and it was a great price. I should have grabbed it, but I didn't. But I'm going to. I'm never going to be without this stuff if I can help it. Tommy for Men. If you don't own this one, you better get your hands on it. It's a great fragrance. Jack of all trades. Like I said, sporty, green, fresh. You can't go wrong wearing this stuff. It's going to work for the gym, and it'll work all the way on a date night, too. This would work damn good on date nights because it's so easy to love. Blah, blah, blah. You're probably sick of hearing me ramble. Hey, man, do me a favor. If you like that list, like the video. It would be helping me out. Lets YouTube know the video's worthwhile, the channel's worthwhile. Tell YouTube you think I should have a Ferrari. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't already, but you should. Until next time, guys, I'm going to leave you how I always leave you. Take your vitamins and hit the gym, and always stay improving. That's very important, along with smelling good. God bless. Be well. Until next time, I'm out.